Are you getting the most out of this Venus retrograde? What about the Mercury retrograde? All amidst an eclipse season. I would love to dive into how we can all really excavate the gems that are here during this Venus retrograde, which is happening March, April. Mercury retrograde, which is also happening March, April, and the eclipses that really last all of March into about mid-April. This 6-week time is a really, let me give us some words for this. It is, I just see this like explosion kind of going on, right? If I close my eyes and I just feel into how can I describe this moment in time from an astrological energetic standpoint, it's like the emoji of the explosion. It's also this like, so to me, to describe that in words would be exploding out of previous constraints, out of previous karma. Eclipses bring about karma and breaking through. So there's a big breakthrough. It's like exploding out of and then breaking through into new things that we would not have been able to break into without the breaking down that's happening during this Venus, Mercury retrograde and eclipse season. So it's like the breaking down, I really like these words also for this kind of first part of this whole time period. And I'll give you details and dates on time periods and when all this is exactly happening in March and April of 2025. But it's the first part of it is this real dissolving of our own sense of self in a way. It's a real dissolving. Those of us on a spiritual path, it's so powerful for the dissolving of ego structure, of attachments that no longer serve. It's like dissolving of the outdated, dissolving of our sense of self that we've outgrown. And it can be such a dark night of the soul for some of us. It can also be a very confusing time. Neptune is very strong. Neptune's been on the North Node. Neptune can bring about confusion. So let's feel into this a little bit more. I want to give you some more of these overall energetics, and then I want to dive specifically into Venus retrograde, how to work with this auspicious 40 days and 40 nights of the feminine, Venus, the heart, and what she's doing in her recalibration phase, and how that relates to our lives, how that relates to relationship. And you want to think karmic relationship. You want to think deeper. Pluto's up in the mix, so it's going to take things deeper. And the fact that it's happening in an eclipse season makes it karmic, very karmic. So we'll talk about what this is pointing to and how we can uncover this stuff for ourselves in our lives, right? Like how you can uncover what the heck this is pointing to for you. So we'll dive into the Venus retrograde. We'll dive into the Mercury retrograde. And the Mercury retrograde, of course, he's the trickster. Of course, he's the trickster. But on a deeper level, and this is what I want to talk about, especially in an eclipse season, and he's also up in the mix sextiling Pluto, just like Venus. He's also moving over that Pisces Aries world axis point. This makes it bigger endings for bigger beginnings. But not just is Mercury doing trickster stuff to get us into deeper alignment with our soul's path in life. That's what every Mercury retrograde is about. Did you know that? Did you know that? Like, that's why he's playing trickster, because he has a capacity during a retrograde to maneuver the world around to get you into deeper alignment with your highest path forward. Now, this is like get you into deeper alignment with your highest path forward on crack. That's this moment in time. That's this kind of 6 weeks, all of March into the middle of April. Get you into alignment with your highest path forward. Don't care if we need to pull the rug out from underneath you. Don't care if we need to hit you with a baseball bat. Don't care if we need to give you a dark night of the soul, completely confuse you, dissolve you. You don't even know who the heck you are or what the heck it is that you want anymore. That's this 6 weeks. But like the good stuff is that what it's doing is it's dissolving things you would have never dissolved. It's helping you to let go of outdated patterns you would have never let go of, right? So that you can come into these words always like fall short, right? They're just like, they go in one ear and out the other whenever I say them, but let me try to find a new way of saying this that might like hit home, so that you can express your greatest, truest, most amazing, joy-filled self in a way that feels so fulfilling to you that you can barely stand life. Like life is so aligned, so full, so good that you can barely stand it. Just that, you know? So a little bit of short-term pain, the releasing, the letting go, the death part of the first part of this 6-week portal, for long-term gain. Short-term pain, long-term gain. Long-term gain is, for some of us, an entirely different life trajectory on the other side of this. For some of us, doors of potentials and possibilities opening that were not open before. But some doors have to close. Some doors have to close, and we'll talk about that. So we'll go into Venus retrograde, the deeper meaning of that, how to work with that. We'll go into Mercury retrograde, the deeper meaning of that, how to work with that. The specifics of this eclipse season, the deeper meaning, how to work with that. And then I also want to go into this 29th degree of Pisces, the anaretic degree, the last degree of the entire zodiac, and 0 degrees of Aries. This is the world axis point. This is a big deal. This is a really big deal during these 6 weeks. It's a big deal for all of 2025, but it's a really big deal. Like, what does that mean? How do we work with that? What is that pointing to? Sure, I keep hearing it's more karmic, the anaretic karmic degree of the last sign of the zodiac, 29th degree of Pisces. Like, everything that we missed, all the lessons that we've been missing for so long, they're all coming up to the surface. But let's go into the deeper meaning of that, and how can we work with that? Because Mercury and Venus both move over that, and they really are saying, what have you missed? These eclipses are highlighting that. Neptune goes over that. The North Node has been over that. So this is fated. It's the mystic Neptune moving signs, moving out of Pisces into Aries. So moving over that point. And this is like the last stand. All right. So I did say that I want to give us a few more of these overall feels of this moment in time before we dive into those kind of 4 specific aspects. So let me go back up here. Maybe what I'll do is I'll take a moment here to just quickly share with you how to get the most out of this. Go through this as many times as you need to. Grab a piece of paper and a pen. I know I sometimes talk fast, but it's like I'm trying to get the information through without missing it. So there's sort of like a pace and a rhythm that I have to go at. Otherwise, I like lose the flow. So slow me down if you need to. Maybe you need to speed me up. I don't know that that's going to be the case, but you have to really trust, like, hold the intention as you come into this of, if I were going to get the most out of this, how do I set myself up? And then listen, if I were to get the most out of this, if this was really going to be my guide, like my guide for this, my own personal Venus retrograde, my own personal Mercury retrograde, my own personal eclipse season, and my own personal moving from the last sign of the last degree of the zodiac into the first degree. What is my own personal experience with the world axis point? Like, what the heck's going on there? What do I need to do to set myself up for that? Maybe you need to listen to this 4 times. I know a friend who listens to this as she's passing out, like 4 or 5 times. And then she'll finally get to, she's like, I just get so much out of it in that way. And then I listen to it fully awake. I know someone who takes notes. I know someone who pauses, deepens into practices that are shared in the moment and then goes on with things. So just that, like, let this serve. Let this serve. This to me is a soul-supported sojourn, right? Venus going into the underworld, retrograde. Mercury going into the underworld, retrograde. Eclipse season, soul moment in time, karmic, dharmic moment in time. 29th degree of Pisces into the first degree of the zodiac. That's a death for a rebirth. This is a soul moment in time. And so let this be a soul sojourn. Let it be like a soul sojourn for you, and make it yours. Like, this is your path. Everything I'm sharing here is I'll share this with you. It's because I love humans. Like, I love us. I think we're crazy and we're fucking wild and we're complex and multi-layered as shit. But I love the potentials that reside within us. I love our love. I love watching us transform. I love watching us evolve. I love it. It's what I'm here to do, right? It's the thing that lights me up. Like I shared in the earlier beginning of like the trickster, right? Mercury, and all this like trickster on crack right now, but it's to get us into highest alignment. Like, what is it that fills you up, lights you up? And this, being here with you like this, is what fills me up and lights me up. So for sure, there's a totally selfish reason for this. For sure. It's because it makes me happy. It's what brings me joy. It's what brings me fulfillment, is to be here with you. So it comes from that place, and it is genuinely this like, may this serve, may this serve. Rewilding's motto, if this is your first time here, is make good shit and share it. It's pretty simple. It's really simple. We've been saying that for years. My whole team says that. Make good shit and share it. That's our whole thing. Make good shit and share it. So here we go. Let's make some good shit together. You and me. All right. I said we were going to start with a little bit more of this overview of this moment in time. This moment in time, it is very karmic. It is very dharmic. You want to think of karma, dharma. They're on the same line. You release more of your karma, past life, ancestral, like karmic baggage, right? You release more of your karma, you open up to more of your dharma. That's essentially the South Node, North Node journey. That's astrology. That's the eclipses, the nodes of fate. Tucker just gave us a little bark. He super agrees. This is important. Nodes of fate are lit up. Karma, dharma. So it is a deeper, more soulful moment in time. So the things that are happening now, they are not necessarily to support your little self, your ego self. They're not necessarily happening to make you feel good, right? They're happening to get you to drop more of your karma. That first eclipse happening on the 14th of March, that was all about dropping karma, dropping karma, dropping karma, dropping karma. So that you can open up to the gifts and the wisdom that are in your South Node, because we all came in with, we know what we know, but we don't know how we know it. Or we're just really good at this. Or we're just here for this, right? So we release karma, like pain, fear, past life wounding, this life wounding, ancestral goo, right? Emotional blockages. It's a releasing. Shadow work, right? Shadow work, releasing, and reclamation of lost parts of self, right? So you're reclaiming this wisdom, these gifts, these lost parts of self, like acceptance, self-love, and then it's then opening up your dharma. Your dharma, what it is, like I shared with you before, what it is that like so lights you up. You are so on purpose. You just say things like, this is what I'm here for. This is what I was made for. This is why I was born into this life. It was for this. But oftentimes we have to do the crunchy, gooey, shadowy work of releasing, right? The baggage, the karmic baggage, so that we can open up to more and more and more of our dharma. This whole 6-week journey, Venus retrograde supports that. Mercury retrograde supports that. The eclipses support that. So does everything moving over Pisces into Aries supports that. So that's really big overall theme. Now, let me expand on that a little bit. This is a very tough territory for most humans to be conscious of. We want to rationalize this and bless our souls. We want to know what this is about. We want to write a to-do list. We want to write a endings list, a beginnings list. We want to cognize the shit out of this so that we can make good decisions and we can take a path forward. That is our sole purpose. But here's the deal. A lot of this operates in a much deeper level than most of our brains are trained to go to. Let me say that one more time. A lot of this is taking place in a place deeper beyond where most of our brains are trained to go to. I don't know how long you went to school for training on how to work with soul, how to work with karma, how to read dharma, how to read your soul blueprint, how to activate your soul blueprint. I don't know how much training we've had in that. Some of us have had years and years and years of training. And some of us haven't had a whole lot of training on the language of the soul. This whole time is language of the soul. If you've been trained to read the language of the soul, or you're just kind of innately wired to read the language of the soul, great. You're going to be able to translate a lot of stuff. But for some of us, we're going to walk through this time and it is going to be very confusing. It is going to be very chaotic. And Mercury going retrograde, this is a blessing. This is an enormous blessing that Mercury is going retrograde, because what he's saying is, I want to help translate this moment in time for you. But that means I can't be busy in the outside world. I can't be constantly a busy mind, a busy body. It is an internal journey inward. I need to create more space. I need to create more time so that I can hear the language of the soul. We'll talk a little bit more about that when I go into the 4 specific regions of things, but I want to stick here on the overall energetic moment in time. Quick pause here. Listen for what's really hot and really alive for you while you're listening to this conversation. There will be certain aspects that are more alive for you. Now, here's the other little caveat. The last little aspect that I share in this conversation, I don't know what that's going to be. That might be the one that blows up your whole world. That might be the one that is the eye-opening aha moment. Oh my God, the penny just dropped. I fucking get what this is about. I don't know when it's going to come for you. I don't know where it's going to come for you, but pay attention to that. Like when something resonates, and it might not register in your mind. It might like ping your heart. It might ping your belly, or you might just get the sense of like, oh, there was something there. I need to rewind that. Oh, there was something there. I need to rewind that. That's a marker. That's like soul speak. So we're talking about how mostly we can't cognize a lot of this, because it's soul speak. It's happening on karmic levels. It's happening on soul levels. It's happening on the other side of the veil. But it's happening, right? And so let it speak in the way it speaks to you. Maybe it's symbolic, maybe it's in dreams, maybe it's a felt sense, maybe it's a knowing. If there's something I can share around this territory is don't try to analyze everything, and don't try to fit it into frameworks. Like the mind cannot go here. Teresa of Avila, like the mind can't go here when she's talking about soul territory, like soul territory. The mind can't go this high. That's this moment in time. It's so high. It's so high frequency. It's such deep, radical change in karma dharma that the mind mostly can't go there. But how do we still work with it, even if my mind can't go there? How do we drop into the heart? How can we work with body wisdom so that we don't have to only rely on one wisdom center, one little aspect of self, which is our left brain logical mind? All right, let's get into these specific aspects with the time that we have remaining together. All right, here we go, aspect by aspect. I think the first one that we really want to dive into is Venus retrograde. I am wildly excited that we have 40 days and 40 nights. This is her auspicious journey into the underworld happening at this moment in time. I mean, it's just so good for her to be starting her retrograde in Aries. That's about self. Self. I, me, my, self. She starts it in Aries, and then she moves backward into Pisces. So her retrograde brings her from I, me, myself, backward into all is one. That's Pisces. The interconnectedness of the all of everything. She starts out very, we'll just say it, selfish. I, me, my. Aries is the identification of my individuated self. So it's literally my heart, my feminine, my Venus, my Venus is in a place of, she's defining herself, and that's beautiful. It's beautiful. She's in a place of defining herself. These are my values. These are my desires. These are my deepest heart's longings. This is what really supports my creativity, my sensuality, my flow, my life force, right? That's her in Aries. She's defining it. It's fire. It's also movement forward. Then she goes, from this place, I shall take my 40-day, 40-night journey into the underworld to explore what is no longer true, to explore, to release the old way that I saw myself, defined my heart, my feminine, my values, my desires, my creativity, my sensuality. And I'm going to go on this soul sojourn into completely dissolving my identification of self, Aries, completely dissolving my identification of my heart, my identification of my feminine, a complete dissolving. And I'm going to dissolve into more of a higher heart place, more of a universal heart place, a cosmic heart place, a cosmic feminine place. I'm going to open up to the universal sound of love. I'm going to open up to something so much greater than self, and I'm going to do that through my heart. I'm going to do that through my interconnectedness to the all of everything, the feminine, the very ground of being. I am interconnectedness. You can think of like mycelial, like the roots of everything in the underground, is everything is interconnected. There's like a constant flow of life force. That's this journey. An aspect of this journey. Let's dial this in. I know that can be a little bit high level spiritual, but that's a really good practice to do. You can make that into a practice of the dissolving of personal heart into cosmic heart, the opening up of personal heart into universal heart, the shift from personal feminine, and some of us identify feminine as like the left side of our body. It's just a way of working with it. You could identify your own personal feminine with the left side of your body. And then and I like the action of moving backward. Even if you just lean backward, you can try it now if you're up for it. You just kind of lean backward out of your own personal identification of self, right? Identification, my love, my heart, my feminine, my creativity, my sensuality, my, whatever comes up for you around Venus. Could be beauty, could be radiance, could be magnetism, could be attraction. All of that's Venus territory, by the way. Yeah. Think about magnetism, your feminine magnetism. What are you attracting? What are you repelling? Now this is all getting recalibrated and rewired. All of this is getting recalibrated, rewired. So you think left side, my personal, and then moving back in her retrograde, and then opening up to the impersonal. Opening up, cosmic Venus, universal Venus, cosmic heart, cosmic feminine. Sorry, if you see my camera bouncing, it's Tucker, my dog, who's leaning against the camera stand. He's fallen asleep and whatever. So my apologies. We'll just like let that be the interconnectedness of the all of everything, and the dog is part of it. And so every time the camera moves, just know that it is literally representing the web of life and the interconnectedness of the all of everything. And it's just everything is really interconnected to everything. That's part of what this Venus retrograde wants to teach our hearts. Not necessarily even teach our hearts. It wants to awaken that wisdom that is already in your heart. That wisdom is already in your heart. That wisdom knows the interconnectedness. It knows cosmic heart. It knows cosmic love, universal heart. And it knows the healing capacities that are there for your own personal heart. So now Venus goes retrograde. Those are some really good practices that you can practice. Now Venus going retrograde, she's going to be in this Piscean, right? Piscean, higher love. The dissolving of little self, moving into true self, full self, big love, high level love, right? May I push away all outdated patterns around my heart. May I push away all little limiting patterns around love, little limiting patterns. Now let's get this, dial this in. How does this affect your life, right? This affects where you hold conditions around your love. Like just with your partner, let's say you have a partner or a friend, it doesn't matter, a family member, someone you're close to, right? Where you have a hard time, they do something or they act a certain way or they present something and you have a hard time staying open-hearted. You have a hard time staying even present, open-hearted and letting love flow. You have a hard time loving that aspect of that person, that place, that thing, this thing ongoing in the world, whatever it is, right? This is now not personal. This is now soul. This is now your karma. What is it that you were brought into this world to learn to love? That's a really powerful reflective question for Venus retrograde. What is it that you came into this world to learn to love? Karma. That is one of your karmic journeys. What is it that you came in, right? In the way that you were born into this life, you had a really hard time loving this. You have a hard time loving this aspect in people, this aspect in yourself, this aspect in the world, this unfolding. What is it that you have a hard time learning to love? And what is it that you're learning to love, right? What is it that you're opening up? Where is it that your heart couldn't stay in open-hearted flow of love? Couldn't stay in, this is Venus, flow of love. That's her number one priority, is flow of love. She will pick flow of love as a value over everything else. And so it's really showing us where we deny the flow of love, where we can't let love in. A lot of this will be about receiving love. Can you receive love? Can you receive personal love? What love forms can you receive and can't you receive? Who can you receive love from and who can't you receive love from? How much love can you love yourself? How much self-love is there? Y'all, this is crazy. This is crazy for this to be happening in an eclipse while Mercury is retrograde, so we can actually kind of cognize. Like, I know I said it's going to be hard to cognize some of this, but we're going to be able to cognize more than we would if Mercury was not retrograde. This is so stunning. All right, let's talk a little bit more about how this Venus retrograde dials into our lives. Obviously, relationships are completely getting reworked. Desires are getting reworked. So when I say getting reworked, retrogrades are about the rewords. They're reevaluation. So if you were to think of Venus, like Venus is moving out of this personal, I identify my love, my heart, my desires, my values, my creativity, my sensuality, my capacity to attract in, magnetize in, right? I am completely reevaluating all of that. And I'm reevaluating that via going into cosmic heart. Y'all, this is massive healing. It's massive awakening. It's massive awakening of the heart. It's massive healing of the heart. It's opening up to higher expressions of your own heart. And it's karmic. It's destined. It's fated. You are right on time. This is exactly what was meant to be happening for you now. What are the themes coming up for you around your heart? You can just place your hand on your heart and just feel into, what is my heart saying? What is my heart going through? What's alive for my heart? What's hard for my heart right now? Where is my heart closing? What is opening my heart? What is my heart longing to do in this lifetime? What is my heart longing to do in this lifetime? What is it longing to drop? What kind of ancestral patterns is it longing to drop? It's going to want to drop some ancestral patterns. Maybe the way your family withheld love, or the way that your family guarded their hearts. You want to think armoring, you want to think guarding, and you want to think, what is, if my heart was going on this journey into really, let me find some words for this, a real heart awakening. It's a heart awakening. Your heart is going through a heart awakening. How, right? How does it open? Just having a daily practice until Venus goes direct on April 12th. From now, whenever you're watching this, to April 12th, every day, have a heart awakening practice. You just give yourself this visualization of your heart. Maybe it's a rose blossoming, a heart awakening, a heart awakening, a heart awakening. Maybe you do a little analysis in your life and you look at, what are the things that are awakening my heart? Like, I know for me, my intimate relationship is awakening my heart in ways that nothing else in this world has awakened my heart. And sometimes it's gloriously painful. And sometimes it's just like, what? Really? This too? What? I also know my dog, oh my God, he awakens my heart. The land that I just moved to I'm not quite there yet. I'm still in California, but my house is getting eclipsed out. So for those of you who've been hanging out for a while, I think my house is getting eclipsed out during this eclipse. Like, I think my house is actually going to close, maybe on the equinox, 20th. We'll see. Who knows? But still, it's eclipse season. It's retrograde. So also, by the way, like, trust your gut over all that gooey, silly stuff that's being said about retrogrades, right? Don't sign contracts. Don't. Yeah, sure. Okay, there's some wisdom in that, but trust your wise self, right? Trust your wise self amidst every other cotton picking thing, including whatever you're picking up on what I'm saying. Like, it's got to come from deep wise self, because there's an entire rewiring going on here. There's an endings going on here. There's a releasing and there's a shedding going on here. And don't deny your soul's journey because you read some shit on an Instagram post about don't sign contracts. Whatever. That's like the greatest ending of your life, is wanting to happen during an eclipse. It's wanting to be eclipsed out, and you're not going to sign a contract because someone said Mercury is retrograde, which is the most surface level description of Mercury retrograde ever. Just a little tangent there. To like give us all this permission and invitation to wise self, right? Wise self. If there's one thing to tap into this whole moment in time, all of March into middle of April, wise self, wise self, wise self, wise self. If you can't get to wise self, then don't make the decision, right? I think Tucker's maybe done rocking the camera. We'll see. I think he's just really, really wanting to highlight wise self, wise self, wise self. I like wizened medicine woman, medicine man self. For some reason, that helps us to get to like crone kind of wisdom, elder kind of wisdom in ourselves. So if you lean back and you feel into my wizened self, and I'm going to make a decision for my wizened self, that oftentimes supports a soul decision, a soul path forward, like the alignment with soul, which is what this whole moment in time is about. My goodness, I could talk about Venus retrograde for a really, really long time. I don't want to do that. There is going to be much more in membership on that coming up on the 1st of April. I feel like we're going to really highlight in that live workshop, we're going to really highlight what it is we can really dive into around Venus retrograde still. So for me, that theme is going to be all about Venus retrograde. So you're super welcome to join me in there. We'll dive into this more practices, and really come April 1st, that live circle, we'll really be able to move into it. So she's gone. I'll give you these dates for this. Venus went retrograde March 2nd. And then she will go direct on April 12th. So coming into this energetics on April 1st, oh my God, I can't even like imagine what this is gonna be like, right? She's already have made it. The 22nd is her Kazemi. She will have made it into Pisces. I'm curious to know the date that she goes into Pisces. I don't know. I don't have that date written down, but this just is super wildly, beautifully aligned for me. So if you want to work more in this Venus retro, join membership, $59 for an entire month of access. There's the Eclipse deep dive. So there's heaps more in there about that. There's a soul blueprint activation. That was our March 1st workshop. Go do that before the end of the month. Do that during this eclipse season. It's completely setting you up for aligning with soul. Remember I said this whole moment in time could be trickster, could be crunchy, could be like really tough. But when we get in alignment, right? Soul blueprint activation, when we get in alignment with our soul, with our highest path forward, right? It's everything that falls away is in alignment with that highest path forward. So that's the practice. I would go do that first. Like I would dive into that. If you do decide to join me in membership for that Venus exploration on the 1st, I would go do that first, like right away. Just get that soul blueprint activation. There's a woman who's been a rewilding forever. She's actually part of the support team now. And she's doing it every single day during this eclipse season, every day. She's like, and this is wildly changing my life, doing this soul blueprint activation every single day. She's like, I can't even tell you how much I didn't know I was out of alignment with my soul. This is so revelatory and wild and crazy. And so that's all in there in membership. There's like 9 hours of soul work in there, and then I'll see you there on the 1st for the live workshop. Of course, replay is available if you can't make it live for a deeper dive into this Venusian territory, because it's so good to be going from little personal heart into cosmic universal heart. And how can we really open to the Shakti that's available there? How can we really open to the wisdom that's available there? How can we really bring all of that in, draw all of that in for our own unique heart healing, heart awakening that's meant to happen for us during this eclipse season, during this Venus retrograde? Okay, that's the first one. Let's talk about Mercury retrograde now. So Mercury, psychopomp, messenger of the gods. He goes retrograde March 14th. This was the day, like hours after that eclipse happened. So that was the Virgo full moon eclipse, lunar south node, full moon eclipse, blood moon in Virgo. Mercury goes retrograde like in that energetics, right? In that energetics. That's intense. Mercury going retrograde, he's the psychopomp, messenger of the soul. And he goes, I want to give you messages around what it is your south node karma territory is that you're dropping, what it is that you're really ready to release, what is karmic territory that is alive, that is hot, and I want you to see it, I want you to smell it, I want you to taste it, and I want you to let it go. We might not be getting these insights though until he's like the halfway point, which his halfway point is the 24th of March. And we may not be getting really the full insights until he goes direct, which is on April 7th. But know that he is on his psychopomp. Mercury is psychopomp. This is soul guide to your soul, guide to your soul. He's psychopomp. And he's going, I'm going to take one for the team here during this wild card eclipse season, all of these deep endings, deep beginnings, all of this deep karma to be released, this dharma to be reclaimed and stepped into. I'm going to take one for the team and I'm going to turn into a real intense guide for you. I'm going to turn into the psychopomp that I am, and I'm going to go inward, and I'm going to do it in the same place that Venus is doing it. So now we have the heart, Venus, and the mind in the same territory at the same time. So I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you get more insights, to help you see more, hear more, know more, cognize more, so that on the other side of this, come April 7th, 12th, right? 7th, he goes direct. 12th, Venus goes direct. Come then, you're going to be able to make clearer decisions. You're going to see a fuller picture because I'm doing my psychopomp job. I am in this retrograde. I am going inward, right? I'm a part of this. I am taking your mind into this. Stunning. We are obviously going to weave in Mercury on that April 1st workshop. Of course, like how could we not? Like he'll be messenger to Venus, what she's doing. He'll be messenger to the whole karmic dharmic dance that's been happening for us during this eclipse season, right? Because that's what he does. He can be a messenger for Venus. He could be a messenger for Pluto, right? I said Pluto was loud in the Venus retrograde because he's sextile her and then he's sextile Mercury during this. So deeper. And he can be psychopomp to Lord of the Underworld. Lord of the Underworld, right? Your power dynamics, that comes into play. Like what is deeper, right? So he can be messenger to that. He can be messenger to the sun, messenger to the moon. That's what's in eclipse season. Messenger to Neptune because he crosses Neptune. He crosses your north node of fate. He crosses not your north node of fate where it was in your birth chart, but he's crossing the north node of fate in the skies, this is so good. He's literally about to tell you exactly what it is that you're destined for. But you have to go on the recalibration journey. You have to give him the space and the time to tell you, right? The more we work in this territory, the more practices we do, especially spiritual type practices where it's beyond just left brain logical mind, right? Because it's in Pisces. Because everything's moving into Pisces. And so when we can access these non-ordinary states of consciousness, right? There's waking consciousness, like daily consciousness, blah, blah, blah. It's great, wonderful to get around life that way, right? But when we go into non-ordinary, powerful states of consciousness, this is where the goods are at. So go there. Whatever your practices are, and if you don't have any, join membership. There's a ton in there, right? A ton where you're just guided straight into the guts of this territory, the juice of this territory. Like I said, soul blueprint activation, that's this territory. Go do that one right away and then show up on the 1st or shortly thereafter to watch the replay of when we really work with these current energetics. That's bones. It's like we're working with the current energetics, what's most alive, what's most accessible, what doors are open, so that we can support our greatest path forward. Always, 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 always. So Mercury being in the mix, this is just stunning. It's stunning, but kind of a red flag or a little bit of a caveat to this is if you want your brain to be operating normally during this time, there's going to be a little bit of a give and a take, like we kind of got to give a little bit of like normal daily functioning. And so maybe like keeping track of all the things that are going on, maybe the to-do list, maybe, remembering dates and times and things, maybe some of that goes by the wayside a little bit, because Mercury's literally, the mind is literally saying, I've got something bigger to do here. I've got something really big to show you, to go on a journey and explore this for you, with you. So that's Mercury going retrograde during this moment in time. Again, we'll do more of that in membership on the 1st, where we'll weave Mercury and Venus together, and just like the Shakti of them, right? They each carry their own wisdom energy, their own mysteries, and we'll explore some of those, the ones that are most alive and the ones that most serve our path forward. Okay, now let's talk about eclipses. So you've maybe already like glazed over on the word eclipses because you've been hearing fucking eclipses everywhere. But I want to talk about this in a little bit of a different way. I want to talk about this in the way of this Mercury retrograde, Venus retrograde, and this world axis point. These eclipses are super murky, weird, crazy, wild because of this world axis point. And some of us are getting very confused about what's me, what's them, what's mine, what's theirs. Am I picking up on the collective? Am I processing for the collective? Can you relate to some of that? Our sensitivities are off the charts in this eclipse season. Sensitivities off the charts. Lack of psychic boundary. It's like the psychic boundary just got walloped, right? So we're going to want to do more psychic hygiene during this time. More of cleansing your aura, more of solo time, more of like, I love doing this silly practice. It's a silly practice. I used to like be a super workout person, right? I owned personal training studios at one point. Isn't that wild? Like fitness studios and gyms. And I used to love like kickboxing. And so I will sometimes just create like my space, and I will literally during a workout, I like to call it a meditation too, 2 for 1. Why not work out and meditate all at the same time while cleansing your aura? I mean, I'm a utilitarian. I love like conserving as much time as I can. And so I will literally be like punching and kicking, and I will literally be just moving everything out of my psychic space. I will be moving everything out of my energetic space. Everyone, everything, all the projections, all the everything, the news, the collective psyche. I mean, living in America right now that's like a constant. That's like a constant cleansing that has to be happening. It's so crazy the amount of stuff flying everywhere and just like trying to glom on and get. Anyway, I'm going a little crazy here, but you get the point. So this is Neptune on the last degree. This is Neptune on that last degree. He's in the last degrees of Pisces, y'all. This is a big deal. It's a big deal. These eclipses, right, on the Virgo Pisces axis. Well, the next one is going to actually fall on the Aries Libra axis. So that's an interesting little dance. I will talk about more of that in the next episode. So if you want to hit the subscribe button, you want to hit the little bell thing so that you don't miss the new moon eclipse coming up, I'll talk about how that's so interesting, right? That relationship eclipse, or that relationship axis for that particular eclipse. But that'll come in the next podcast episode, the next YouTube video that we put out. Okay. So let's feel a little bit more into this real watery boundaries. That's Neptune, that's Pisces energy, so much in Pisces, right? So much in Pisces, and the Venus retrograding from Aries into Pisces, from Mercury into Pisces. That this is kind of like the moving into all is one, right? This universal love, this interconnectedness of the all of everything. We got to watch that in our daily lives. We got to watch that and be more conscious than ever of what is the state that I'm in. I love this little practice. If this works for you, make it your own, adopt it. This was given to me maybe 10 years ago in Australia. And it was a kind of a prayer or a mantra that was passed down through, I believe it was a shamanic tradition in Australia. So it's, Dear Mother, Father, God, open and close my energy centers to the degree that most serves this moment. Isn't that great? And you don't have to say, Dear Mother, Father, God. I just do because that's the way it was given to me. If that feels right for you, go for it. If you want to say it differently. But it's like getting out of my little self where I think I know how open my heart chakra should be, or I know how open my crown should be when I walk into a grocery store. I don't. I don't want to even pretend like my little self knows that. Little Sabrina knows. I have no idea. But I can align with something much wiser than myself. And I can go, Dear Mother, Father, God, or universal wisdom, or, whatever, divine, like open and close my chakra. You can say chakras. I don't know if you work with the chakra system, maybe not. I say wisdom centers, energy centers, my aura. You can say all the different things. I now don't even say that. It's just kind of more like a intention real quick in myself. But it's like, just put me in the place that most serves this moment. So I know, right? If my crown should be super open, if my third eye should be super open, or, I'm like going into a energetic atmosphere that does not serve for me to be blasted psychically open. And here's an interesting part. This eclipse is pointing to all of this, is to not play victim to circumstance, victim to our environment, victim to our world, to really, this is a big part of what's happening during this eclipse season, is to really take more and more and more ownership of how stinking powerful our intentions are. Take more and more ownership of how much you are co-creating every moment of your life, right? More and more ownership. And so if I walk into a grocery store totally blasted open because I just came off of a rewilding retreat, that's on me. That's on me. Yeah, of course the world is co-creating. Like, we're co-creating with our environment. We're co-creating with other people. But can I come in the best place, the most empowered place, the most aligned place, the place that serves me the most every moment? Every moment. Wild, right? Wild. For an empowerment journey, right? If you're feeling like, wow, I'm sensing into what you're talking about, Sabrina. I'm sensing into what you're talking about. There's a mystery school that we just put on crazy sale. Like, we revamped it. It's the original content. So it's all 20 workshops. It's all 20 lectures, but it's on empowerment. This like real coming into self, right? We call it Dragon Mystery School because it's you coming into getting your wings, right? You coming into this highest level of empowerment. It also has to do with the masculine and the feminine coming together, the fullness of your feminine waking up, the fullness of your masculine, because we are all both, right? Then there's a third energy that gets created when they come into union. What is that third energy? What are the potentials? What are the possibilities that are held there? This is one of the greatest bodies of work that I have ever brought through. This is only the second time that we've ever opened these doors. I don't know how long they're going to be open. I do know they're open through eclipse season. And I do know that we took, 80% off. Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what we did. But that's a deeper dive journey. It's a much bigger journey. It's crazy powerful to start. So if you're going to start this journey, I would not start this until the 29th, right? It's open and on sale until the 31st. I know that. But if you're feeling like, whoa, sacred union, whoa, dragon mystery school, whoa, third energy, beyond masculine and feminine, what is all here in this nucleus power potential? What are my potentials? What is here for me as new human, right? What are the sacred technologies wanting to wake up in me? We also like to call this mystery school the path of the alchemist. It's waking up the alchemist in you. It's crazy potent, so crazy potent that I almost want to journey through it again. I'm not going to because I can't stand to listen to myself. Isn't that crazy? Like, I can't sit, like, it's so trippy and just like totally blows me up. But my whole team, maybe not the whole team, but a good portion of the team is journeying back through that program. It's probably one of 3 programs that will carry as lifetime rewilding work. Like, it's part of the legacy of rewilding. Like, I don't say that about all of the work in rewilding, like the earlier stuff, whatever. That stuff can just like fade away into the great abyss of coming into greater and greater mastery or whatever. But this particular body of work is so potent. And so I would start that on the 29th. I would start that on the new moon, like new moon, that eclipse. What is it that you're starting? What is it that you're stepping into? How are you intending to say yes to your dharma? Yes to your highest potentials. That whole thing supports that. So if you're feeling like you want to go further, further into your potentials, and it's almost like I just see it like rocket launching, right? It's just like rapid path into potentials. Okay, so that's also part of Eclipse specials. You'll see a link below for that. So the final thing that I wanted to point to is this 29 degrees of Pisces, 0 degrees of Aries. What is this like world, this 0 degree of Aries, this like world axis point? What is this anaretic degree? And why are you weaving this in, Sabrina? Well, because both Mercury retrograde is retrograding over that. Venus is retrograding over that. So that means that they've already gone over that point. They're going backwards over that point, and then they're going to come back forward, right? So it's 3 times they're swooping that. Also, Neptune on the 30th, the day after that eclipse on the 29th, Neptune, this also will support that threefold path mystery school journey should you embark upon that 20 workshop, 20 lecture mystery school journey. Neptune goes into Aries on the 30th. Like, this is now all go forward. This is an aspect of go forward. Now, when Venus and Mercury both go direct, it's going to be more go forward. It's going to be more energy. So we have these multiple points now where it's and go forward and go forward and go forward. It's literally like step by step by step by step of when we kind of get little blasts forward. So that new moon on the 29th, blast forward. Neptune moving into Aries, blast forward. Up until then, this 29th degree, this is, actually, I don't want to talk about that because I feel like that'll take us backwards. I want to talk about moving into Aries, this world axis point. So this point fascinates me. It fascinates me, right? Because it's the first point of the zodiac. So it's not just like moving from one sign to another. It's moving from the very end of the zodiac to the very beginning of the zodiac. That's like a greater ending and a greater beginning. So coming on the 29th, it's a greater beginning. Neptune moving into Aries, it's a greater beginning. That's a 165-year cycle. He hasn't been in Aries for 165 years. We've never known what Neptune in Aries feels like. This is wildly exciting. It's wildly exciting. So that's like the mystic in you. We all have a mystic, right? The mystic in you, you could say like the shaman of the skies in you. Right? The mystic, the spiritual aspect of you is moving into a go time, fire sign, move forward. Also, interestingly, I'll share this, is that we're going to want to watch out for collective waves, mob mentality. I love that word. I heard that the other day. And it really reminded me of this kind of Neptune little phase, this world axis point, is to be careful. And I talked a little bit about this, like psychic boundaries and how to really tighten the shore and make good decisions for yourself. What spaces are you called to be in? What groups are you called to be in? Because we are going to be more psychically permeable around this time. So it's like, shore up the leaks, shore up the energetic leaks, shore up the psychic leaks. If I were going to create a safe, sacred space for my psyche, what is that? If I were going to have daily psychic hygiene, what's that going to be? This is such a precious moment in time. It's precious. And we don't want to get swooped up in some like mob mentality that's really not meant for us. Or we suddenly get really like activated by some sort of activism thing that's going on in the world, but it's actually not meant for us. We just accidentally got swooped up in this, world axis point, Neptune wave of collective, anger or rage or whatever. And we just got swooped up. And then like days later we go, oh shoot, where am I? And I actually don't care about this. What have I been doing for the last week? Picketing and rioting, and I'm getting really like exaggerative and blowing up people on social media. I really don't even care about Tesla all that much. I don't know. I don't know what the there's many though. There's many. And to me, just wanted to speak that final like fourth point as a way of supporting self to get the most out of this, but we need these safe, sacred spaces. We need to create these safe, sacred spaces for ourselves, and we want to be very discerning. And that's why it was like, follow wise self, What is it that your wise self is really called to attune to align with? Like I was listening to a beautiful conversation on YouTube. It was a podcast episode. It was like, oh my gosh, this is so what I want to be aligning to in this moment. This is so supportive. There are certain practices, there are certain journeys that they are so supportive from my wise self that I just know. And so feeling into that all the way to the middle of April, and don't hesitate to go for it. There are all these Aries moments in time, the new moon, go for it. So just because it's a Mercury retrograde, right? Like I'm signing a sale of my house in a Mercury retrograde. Like, can we live from a deeper, wiser, more empowered place? Please, right? Please, for the love of life itself, can we please live from a deeper, wiser place within self? And may we all, this is kind of my final little blessing here in this moment in time, may we all just move from deeper, wiser place, deeper, wiser place, deeper, wiser place, deeper, wiser place, deeper, wiser place in all things. I love you all so much. Thank you all so much for being here. I'd love to see you in the comments. I'm always there a couple days after a video goes out. I'd love to see you wherever, however it serves for you from that deep, wise place. All right. Huge love.